You didn't go to the bar, though, till 1946,
That was right, after my period of as private secretary to the governor. I think everyone thought, including the Chief Justice, that he would have been relinquishing that job somewhere at the end of 1945 after Lord Wakehurst returned to England, but that wasn't to be.
No, and what they petitioned for him to stay on, was it like that?
Well, I think he was getting anxious after about the first 3 or 4 months, and although I was not privy to it, there were suggestions in early 1946 that he was going to relinquish his office as Lieutenant Governor unless he had the new governor was appointed quickly.
Mm. And that sort of put the cat among the pigeons a little bit.
Yes. But nevertheless, it was eked out until the 1st of August 1946.
So you go on.
I think there's a bit of, although I was not privy to the messages coming to and fro from London to Sydney, the message seemed to be that the British government wanted an Englishman for the office, and the Premier wanted an Australian.
A little bit of Republican sentiment was starting to spring up, do you think?
They got a good compromise in.
So, from 1944, there were members of the bar trickling back into practice coming back from the war, and there was a bit of a sort of an interesting time, I suppose, at the bar with people coming and going, with the war gradually coming to an end. What was the atmosphere at the bar, at the Sydney bar, like in the mid-40s when you started?
Well, in certainly 1943, 44, things were very slow in the legal profession. There was a fair deal of work from the national security regulations that provided perhaps the main source of work for the junior bar, and also on the appellate area from those regulations. The senior bar was able to thrive. People like Sir Garfield Barwick did very well from the national security regulations.
Yes. Did you come across, after you started the bar, a lady by the name of Anne Bernard who briefed Sir Garfield Barwick?
Yes, I knew Anne, not very well, but I didn't know. She would have been about 47 or 48 at the bar.
Yes.
Or earlier.
Yes, she was admitted in 1941 and she practised throughout the 40s, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, she was one of the, perhaps maybe one of the sole female practitioners. The ones who were in my year at the law school all became solicitors, except for Beatrice Bateman.
Yes. You knew Beatrice?
Oh, yes. Well, well, she was Beatrice McGurr when I first knew her, and then she married while she was at the law school.
That's right. But
Dr. Bateman.
she had a rather more sporadic practice because she had a number of children.
She was even having children during the course of some of the university years. I think about the third year. I think in one year she was able to do the exams at home because she was either in the final stages of pregnancy or about to enter hospital. I'm not quite sure which one.
Yes, that's right. Though I do hear that those barristerial robes are very forgiving if you want them as a maternity outfit.
Yeah, very covering.
Yes, the bar in those days, the early days when you were admitted, was a highly collegiate place.
Yes, I think that's a fair comment.
And you had a lot of help from members of your chambers being, of course, in Chalfont.
Yes, on the 8th floor of Chalfont. They were mostly young barristers, well, some old ones as well, but it was the floor on which Clary Martin had rooms. He was the Attorney General from 1941 to a later stage just after the war, although he was away during part of the war, and his office was taken over by Reg Downing. So it was good to have the Attorney General on the floor, notionally anyway.
Yes.
And there were some senior ones like Frank Hidden, a good criminal lawyer, and another one, elderly gentleman named Greg Thomas. He became a district court judge later on, but his main area was copyright and patent law.